What a weird old season it's been in the head coach, and what a weird run into. 3 games ago, I was worried we wouldn't be top coming back for this episode. Now, we've got a chance to win it with 4 games remaining. From 3 points clear to 12 points clear in a matter of a week and a bit. Can we get the job done? Oh, and it's against our former FM23 club, Hemel Hempstead. Let's go and see if we can. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 40 of the head coach with me, Daniel. It is a big moment to return today, and it's a big opportunity too. For the first time after nearly 5 seasons of this save, we're fighting right at the right end of the table, and we finally got an opportunity to succeed rather than our trophy being just about surviving or just scraping into the playoffs as it was last year. So if you're looking forward to that, as we face, ironically, our FM22 club, Hemel Hempstead, who we had so much success with in that one club story, and if we win it, if we draw it, or if Chippenham and Havant don't win their games, we will be champions of the National League South. It looks a lot more worrying 3 games ago, but if you're looking forward to seeing if we can do it, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. It's a massive end to the season for us, and I feel like this could push our career into the next stratosphere. So let's have a look at how we got here, because 3 games ago, I was genuinely worried we wouldn't even be top coming into this episode. How things change in a couple of weeks. Let's go and see what I mean, because if we have a look at the schedule, you were with me last time out for the Slough and Dover games. A big win at home, disappointing defeat away. And you can see what happened the 2 games after. It's not that we've been brilliant since the last episode by any means. So we played Hayes and Yedding, drew 2-2 at home to the relegation strugglers. Alfie Lloyd and Boyd Beecroft scored our goals as we came from behind twice in that match. Against Bath, we drew 1-1. James Kroll scored late in that game. It was from the penalty spot. It was an undeserved draw, but it was a big moment because if we have a look at what was happening in parallel at the same time with Havant and Waterlooville on the 20th and the 26th of March, and look at the schedule, they drew late on against Tonbridge, otherwise they would have been 3 points behind us there, but that late equaliser meant the gap stayed 5 points. Against Dartford, they managed to get the win. They were 3 points behind us 3 games ago. But you can see what's happened. They played Torquay away and then 2 of the top sides in Worthing and Weymouth, who I think, were they the 2 we played in the last episode or the one before, weren't they? And they lost all of them. In the meantime, we've played 3 sides that have not had great seasons and we beat them all. 4-1 at home to Chelmsford. Luther came in. What a performance from him. 1 goal, 2 assists. Lloyd, Torre and Kroll scored the other 3. Against Hendon, we expected to win and we won convincingly. Kroll got a hat-trick. Torre and Lloyd got 1 apiece. The front 3 just rampant in that game. And then against St Albans, a 3-1 victory. Late consolation for them, but 2 for Kroll, 1 for Torre, and I was a very happy man. So what all of that means is in the space of 2 weeks and 3 games, we have gone from 3 points clear and absolutely cacking our pants to 12 points clear and 1 away from the title. However, I will urge some caution here. Those of you that follow our live stream save on Twitch with Woking will know we were in a very similar position. We were 11 points clear with 4 games to go and managed to take it to the final day. So I'm not getting too excited yet, but I'm hopeful, particularly given most of our away form this year, that this is going to be the moment we get the job done. Hemel Hempstead Town away from home. Let's see how we get on. I don't want to wait any longer. I don't want to talk about other things. We're going to have a little look at the youth intake after this game. But the most important thing is trying to wrap up a trophy, trying to wrap up a promotion, and trying to enhance our CV. So let's get through to the tactical meeting. Let's see who's fit for this big match. And as much as there have been other temptations, I'm not going to make too many changes. I did bring Josh Keeley back in goal for that Hayes and Yedding game. You may have noticed when we were going through. That was because Wade had a slight knock anyway. He let in 2 goals. He didn't play that well. So I just brought Wade back in and he's done all right since. Maybe the 1 game out helped. The back 4 is fairly familiar. 3 loanees, which is going to make next season tough. For now, though, it's Woodthorpe and Anderson the fullbacks with Herbert and Beecroft as centre-half. Wadham in a holding role. He's got a promise to play more football. I don't want to make him unhappy. Balducci and Finney ahead of him. And then Lloyd, Torre, Kroll. Luther's not much worse behind them on the bench. But this is all about today. Get your best side out. Get yourself a result. I don't care if it's a point. I don't care if it's an ugly draw with a 94th minute penalty. If we get a point, we've won the league. And that's all I give a crap about. Three changes for our host today, and a name to watch out for is Jordan Greenidge. Been one of the best players in the division this season. So let's go and tell the lads, we want to go on a good run. Let's keep that going. Show them how good we are, shall we? Most of the lads inspired, motivated, confident, whatever it would be. Good to see that there's not too many anxious or ducking to the occasion. But the proof's on the pitch, not in the dressing room. Over 500 in through the gate at Hemel Hempstead. Can we make the next home game a big celebration? Only one way to find out. Into the first half of what could be a title-winning game. And we've got through the first quarter of it relatively unscathed, but it is Hemel on the front foot now. Good block from the cross though, and Finney brings it away. And this is the trademark of us. You've got the two wingers, the striker, and the box-to-box midfielder. They all just surge forward as soon as we win the ball. Leave five up, get the ball forwards, and we almost get a goal from it. Finney's shots deflected behind. It was good work. Kroll being the creator this time. Is out for a corner kick with Woodthorpe. We've got some big men at the back post. Herbert's not scored in a while. Today would be a good one to end that, as it's cleared as far as Wadham. He recycles possession, gets it out to Woodthorpe. Lovely play from him, but not able to create anything. No shots on target for either side yet. A relatively quiet half an hour. But 0-0 so far is a good score. If we can get one up, I'll drop to cautious, just try and cling on. But at the moment, neither side's really creating anything. Not that that's a bad thing. 0-0 would be a great result for us. Long ball forward towards Kroll. Flicks on for Lloyd, who's in behind the fullback. He's come back into form at a crucial time. But that shot is wayward. Well over the bar. Easily dealt with by Hemel. And they've got a corner kick at the other end now. Big one into the front post. Greenidge was attacking it. Wadham hoofs away though, and Kroll can get forward. Not able to make much of that one though. Back over the top on the right hand side. Into the box, and it's poor defending. They've switched off, and not like this. Don't do this to me on the day. Torre missed the interception. I'm not sure he's at fault. But we're 10 minutes to the break. We're 1-0 down. I'm just going to drop to cautious. Make sure we don't get caught out. Let's encourage the lads, keep the spirits high, and get through to the break without any further damage. As Anderson brings the ball forward. Long over the top towards Kroll. Finney picks it up in a centre circle for Balducci. And it's up to Kroll again. Past the defender. Round the goalkeeper. But the defender does brilliantly to get back. Gets a deflection on it. It's behind for another corner. And we've got a chance to get it in the box. The lad's looking happier now. Woodthorpe will take it. It's an outswinger. Up towards the back post with Herbert there. Beecroft loses out. Cleared as far as Wadham. He lets it go for a throw. I think Hemel will survive to the break. We've got some thinking to do. We're not out of the game. But the only shot on target has gone in against us. As Beecroft goes long. Not the best ball again there. Wilcox brings it down for Wheatley. If Hemel score a second, we're in big trouble, but they won't, because Herbert wins it back. Balducci gives it straight away again, though. Through to Greenidge, star man of the season in this league, and he scored again. That is an awful bit of defending. Balducci caught in the middle and had a good game to that point. I don't think it's going to happen today. I think this is the game it all goes wrong. We're going to do what we've done at 2-0 down a few times this year. Going to go attacking, really chase the game. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. And maybe the fact there were no nerves at the start is a bad thing. Nobody really took the magnitude into account. Let's go aggressive. Let's try and push everything at them. Because at the moment, we've gone down with a whimper. Not even had a shot on target. I guess the positive is, Chippenham are losing, Havant are drawing. At the moment, we're winning the league by default. But it's not the way I want to do it. As Hemel come on the front foot again. They score a third. Maybe we do have to limit the damage and save the goal difference. Down the left-hand side they go. Back to Wilcox. They look better than my Hemel side did in the early years. Good ball into Greenidge. It's a great save, Wade. But it was offside from the original ball. An hour gone. Changes to be made. Herbert's on the front foot. But let's get it done because look at Torre. 6.0. Mistake that led to the goal looks anxious. Get Luther on. He's changed a few games this year. Balducci in the middle. I'm not sure he's having a good game, but I'm going to have to go with it because he is the least fit player. DeRose will come on for him and play box to box. And then at the back, Beecroft has had a poor one. So has Anderson. What do we do? Let's chase it. Get the attacking fullback on. Experience counts. Richard Bryan is on at right back. 3 changes made. We're on the front foot. Can we get a goal back as Herbert over towards Kroll. Runs off the defender. Oh, he's hit the post. Rebounds in. No. He reacts first. It's his 35th of the season. And he didn't sign till what? October? November? Brilliant player. Has been absolutely superb. 20 minutes to go. The deficit's halved. but Hemel are on the front foot. Long kick over the top there is poor. Wade will deal with it. We've gone all out attack. It's all we can really do as DeRose finds Lloyd and Brian. More aggressive fullback going down the line. Lloyd's got a runner off him in DeRose. Fresh legs as the box to box. Gets to the wide area. 2 in the middle if he can cross. Instead goes back to Finney. Don't get caught in possession. Turns back to Wadham. Chips towards Kroll. Keeper's caught out. James Kroll's in. Keeper recovers. Good block. Think the defender took a bit off it with a deflection, but Lane tips it behind, and now it's a corner. Woodthorpe will take it. In swinging delivery this time. Come on, Lewis Herbert. Get up at the back post. Beecroft does. Heads over the bar. 20 to go. Still trailing. Though we are straight back with Richard Bryant, who goes long downfield towards Kroll. Not able to make anything of it here, though. Hanger gets it wide to Heatley. He'll come down the right-hand side. No real opposition to him. Lots of players staying forward due to our attacking tactic. Across the box, it goes to Greenidge. And that's going to be game over. As it stands, we're still winning the title because Havant and Chippenham are both dropping points. That's remarkable in itself, but I'd love to do it with a result. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Well, Chippenham are back on level terms, but at the moment, Havant and Waterlooville have fallen behind, and if Chippenham don't score a second, which they clearly haven't, we are champions with 3 games to go. It feels weird to celebrate that after a really poor performance and a 3-1 defeat, but I don't really care at this point. We've had so many poor years with Airbus, the disaster at Peterborough Sports in terms of survival, and then look at this. Recovery, we started with 8 players the first season, we snuck into the playoffs. This year, the director of football for the first time has given us a brilliant squad in his save, one that's very competitive for the level, and we've delivered. The first success, I hope the first of many, and Maidenhead United are going up to the National League. Will we be going with them? Or will we now get some job offers?
Let's get cracking.
Well, I thought I should probably show you this quickly before I played the next 2 games. £50,000 transfer budget for the director of football in the summer and an extra £3,000 on the wage budget. Now, I don't know how much of that is going to be covered by wage rises with promotion. Let's just take a couple of examples like Wadham. What has he got in his deal? None. So maybe it won't be covered too much by that. I will check a couple of others, but I don't think, no, we're not going to have too many problems with that. We're promoted, we're up, we'll have a look at our youth intake, and then we'll be back for the final game. Because if I show you the youth intake, it's a very easy one to do this year. It's poor. We've got 1 average player, a lot of terrible ones, and no one who's going to make the first team. Mitchell Henderson is a right winger and striker, got some good key attributes, and is probably worth signing. Hopefully the director of football will. But I've looked through the rest. They are useless. So 1 okay player, lots of terrible ones, but we won't be here to see him develop. Back in a moment for the final game and to celebrate our title success. Well, it is the final game of the season now, and thankfully it's meaningless because it's first v second. Chippenham are guaranteed a top 3 finish. We are guaranteed the title. But the last 2 games have been awful. What is it in this year's game about the lads going on holiday early? Absolutely no acumen straight after the success. Of course, we lost that Hemel game anyway. Then a 5-1 defeat at home to Weston-super-Mare. James Kroll did manage to get 1 goal for us. We were already 2-0 down at that point. And then against Hampton and Richmond, awful. We were playing against 10 men for the last 20 minutes, only got 1 back. Alfie Lloyd, the goal scorer in that one. But for the final game of the season, thankfully there's nothing riding on the result, so let's just go and get through it, give a few lads a run out, and then get to the season review. Okay then, a little bit of rotation and a few little gambles. I've basically, where possible, gone for players we own over loan players. So Wadham over DeRose, Brian over Anderson, Grant over Beecroft. Keeley's come back in goal for the last couple of games just to get him a little bit of football. But the performances, no matter what team we've put out, has been like that of a team that knows it's done its job. So in goal today is Josh Keeley. We've got Brian and Woodthorpe, the fullbacks, Herbert and Grant now as centre-half. Wadham in alongside Balducci and Finney, the usual front 3 up top. But is it going to do any better than the last 3 games? Because we have been atrocious, and thankfully there's only 1 more game to go, because I don't really want to watch it at the moment. And here are the teams, as Chippenham Town are led up front by Jordan Ibe, the former £15 million man, star for Hemel with us last year in FM, and Darcy Moffat, who scored over 40 goals last season. I think he's 3rd on the goal scorers list this year. He's a super pro. Let's go and get into it. Through the dressing room, into the first half. Just give the fans something to enjoy for the end of the year, because you've got to go out on a high, surely. Well, here we are with just a minute on the clock. It's a familiar start so far. Back for an early highlight, but will it be a good or bad one? As Kroll goes wide to Torre, doesn't look too bad at the minute. I guess Chippenham have wrapped up their top three finish as well, so they might fall to the same sort of problem today. As Yassin Torre gets in, that is a lovely start. Finney sets him up, he puts it in the corner. Excuse the red cheeks, it is freezing in here, but we are 1 goal up. A better start than the last couple of games. Maybe we can go out with a win. And with 20 minutes on the clock, it's Herbert going for the long ball forward. Kroll not quite able to get there, and Brooks brings it downfield. Has support out wide. Torre wins it back though. He's had a really good start here. Woodthorpe goes back to Grant, who's into the team after a few weeks out, and Finney finds Wadham. Big ball towards Kroll. It's a little overhit, and to be honest, it's not particularly pleasant. So it's back to the goalkeeper for Chippenham, who goes a bit more direct. I think that would be a fair statement. Grant does exactly the same though. Up to Kroll, who flicks on. Not sure who he was aiming for, because Lloyd was very deep. Not sure why. But now we're getting this long end-to-end highlight, despite it being on key ones. This might be why though. Moffat chasing behind. Jordan Ibe gets on the second ball. Back to Brooks. Wide to Jordan Ibe again, playing off the left here. Cuts onto that right foot. Was that a Rabona cross? That looked like a Rabona. Absolutely ridiculous in the National League South. Found the back post as well, but thankfully headed over the bar. Chippenham the better side at the minute. They've got a corner now as well, and that one's in. Thomas Lavery with the header. Thought it was Moffat at first, he got nothing on it. And we're back on terms. This is going to be a problem, because Chippenham, I'm sure, will go on to win this. So we're back with 10 minutes to the break. Wadham puts a free kick in. Grant loses out in the air, and Herbert doing the chasing back. Not what we expected. Brian picks it up on halfway to Grant. Has options to the right of him. Balducci's one. Back to Brian. Over to Kroll. Flick on with the head is over the bar. Pretty comfortable to deal with. 9 minutes to half time. It's been a relatively even game. You could argue from the stats, Chippenham probably had the better of it. But if we could get a draw, it would be a nice way to finish. Again, not the biggest points total, is it? We had 90 points. We've added 1 if we get the draw here. But it's not a real league winning total. Considering last year when we were in this level with Dover, we needed, 110 points to win the league. This time, it's been relatively comfortable. We've got a few of the lads motivated. Into the second half we go. Can we get a reaction? As a Wadham free kick comes in, Grant loses out yet again in the air. Herbert flicks it back into the danger zone, and that is a really soft penalty. James Kroll will have it, and a chance to put us back ahead. I don't want to tempt fate. He hasn't missed one for a while. Would this be the day? Kroll steps up. No, it's not. One of the most reliable penalty takers we've had in ages. And he puts it in the bottom corner. 37 for the year. Lovely little dance there by the corner flag. And we lead 2-1. Happy days. Well, Chippenham drop into third place as Havant are winning. And they are obviously losing this one at the minute. Let's see who we can bring on. I think we're going to go Taylor Anderson at right back. I'd like to bring on Luther or Etaluku, if I'm being honest. So let's get on Luther for Alfie Lloyd. We'll switch him with Torre. And then maybe going back, do I take off Woodthorpe for Etaluku? I feel like that's a good move to get him on, because he's not really played a lot this year since we've got the new signings in, and he was a real stalwart last year. He is a good player. He can't defend, but I feel like he deserves the run out. Let's go and get through to the match, confirm the changes. We've got 25 minutes. We're leading. It would be lovely to finish on a win. Well, the stats suggest we have definitely been second best in this game, but with 1 minute of stoppage time to go, Maidenhead lead, and after 3 absolutely awful performances, we finish with a very undeserved win, which, to be fair, has summed up a lot of our away games this season. We're very chuffed with that. The lads can go on holiday and enjoy it now. For us, though, we've got one thing to finish on. Back in a moment for the season review, maybe a quick nose at the job screen. Well, time for the season review, which for the first time in this series includes a trophy and includes some real success. With Maidenhead United, we have finished above expectations. Also the first time we've done that in this save. We win the title, albeit we faltered towards the end. We did enough to get over the line with a relatively low points total. The big credit here, though, has to go to the director of football, because you look at the top probably 5 in that list: Finney, Torre, Beecroft, Herbert, Kroll, and the players he bought in were literally the difference, and that is the spine of the team. He's added bundles of quality and allowed us to achieve. He also bought in a brilliant goalkeeper, couple of right backs that have shared the season between them, and a couple of other lone players that have contributed too. There is no doubt that this has been the best summer we've seen from a director of football so far. The players out didn't make a huge impact. Of course, was a shame to lose Pedder in the summer. We did get half a season out of Ewan, and annoyingly, he's still a free agent. Why on earth did he not want to stay and pick up the trophy? Let's get through to the season results. No league table there because it's not finished yet, but it is where we disappointed. We failed our objective of reaching the first round, which does seem a little bit excessive for a National League North and South club. Maybe that seems a bit harsh. And playing the top side at the time in the North, albeit they shouldn't have been in that division, was a little bit of a surprise. Did Bournemouth go on and win it? They did. How many points did they get? Let's do a quick comparison. 103. So 91 points was second place in that league. We would have been runners-up if Bournemouth had been in their true division. So we have got a little bit lucky with that because they were far better than us on both occasions. In the trophy, we lost in an awful performance. The less said about it, the better. But let's get through the moments to remember. A 6-0 win was the biggest one against Hendon. That 6-3 against Slough in the last episode was game of the season. And a 3-1 win at Torquay saw goal of the season from Yassin Toure. The revenue and stuff is not the season finished yet, so I won't judge it too quickly. But lots of shirts sold for the star attackers. The club reputation, although we've got promoted, probably won't change unless we go professional, which I don't think will happen. But overall, a really good year. The finances stayed solid enough. And the best 11 still includes Ollie Ewing. Anyone could have been in that holding role, really. And Brian just edges Anderson at right back. But the front three and the centre halves definitely picked themselves. Josh Keeley getting in knowing goal ahead of Wade. That deserves a mention. Let's go and get through the accolades as we got one Manager of the Month award. We had no players nominated for Player of the Season. That includes James Kroll, which I find baffling. He got Player and Young Player of the Season here. He also got top goal scorer. Most assists go to Toure as well as goal of the season. But overall, it was a case of brilliant attackers and defenders that contributed enough. 93 points at the end does the trick. But you can see the difference between the North and South. If Bournemouth had been in the division they should have been, there is no way we would have been champions. We'll ignore that though. And we'll just say, look at our shiny trophy. Give us a job at a higher level, please. Through the manager timeline, let's get to this season. Future star joins in Charlie Finney. He's just signed a new deal, which is important news. 200 games in charge last November. Lots of signings coming into the club. And this year, Vanarama South success. We win the title, an important one. Let's go and get through to the end as it does remind us that James Kroll is staying next year. But also, if we go back to yesterday, Charlie Finney is the first one tied down. Not just for next season, but the year after too. So he's starting to build the spine of that team. We've seen the budgets. We've seen the players that are tied down. If we stay here, I'm not going to be gutted. I think we'll have a decent side. The third coaching badge can't be far away. The season review is all excellent. Another 800 followers on social media. We're getting bigger and bigger. And the supporters only want us to attempt to avoid relegation next year, which I think is fine. What do the board want though? That's the crucial question. Attempt to avoid relegation. I'm happy with that. We've had 2 or 3 times this season where that has changed when we've actually got to the season across our saves. So we'll keep an eye on it. But I'm looking at what else we haven't achieved. Grow the club's reputation. Is a promotion not enough? Is the social media followers not enough? Is the extra fans in the stadium not enough? Geez, you have got high expectations. We'll deal with all the other little bits off camera. But let's go and finish with a nose at the job screen. Just see if any other jobs have popped up. Because I'm looking at the National League. Fylde and Chester down. We don't want to go down a division. So what we're probably looking at is next week when the EFL seasons end. Maybe Rafe, who have just gone down to the Championship in Scotland, are those the sort of jobs that we go for. Let me know what you'd like me to do. Of course, I'll take the realistic move. But would you like me to stay at Maidenhead? Do you think after that success I should be nosing around looking for a League 2 club? I'll be interested to get your thoughts of where you think we are. But of course, we'll find out the true answer in a few days' time. We've got 1 episode between now and the start of next season, because for those of you who haven't been here in years gone by, every 5 years in these saves, we do a little bookmark. So we stop off, we have a look through the English leagues, the UK leagues, all of the cup competitions and world football. So if you're looking forward to that in a couple of days, then of course finding out if we're still here at Maidenhead, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you thought of our achievement winning the league. And have you noticed the same thing this season? When you win or are close to winning a promotion, a title, whatever, your team just drops off drastically. Let me know I'm not the only one, please, because we've had it here and we've had it with Woking already. If you want to stay up to date and see what happens this summer and how the footballing world looks in this universe, do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Links in the eye above to everything else, including the Twitch channel, the Builder Nation, and the HelloFresh sponsor as well. A massive thank you to them. There's about 9 days to go on that, so do check it out up there and give it a try if you haven't. We've got deadline day in our other save tomorrow. I hope you'll come and join me for that. and then we'll be back here in 2 days' time for the first bookmark of the FM23 Head Coach.